Hello, friends. This is Giuliano. And it's time to look at the Bitcoin price chart again. It's what I like to do and share it with you. So let's do that. I'm going to jump into this price chart. We're at the 4-hour, but I would like to start at the weekly. Where are we at the weekly? In this price chart, notice the Bollinger Band falling there and the price really pushing outside of it. But there was some good support in the buying. Now we're coming in towards now the inner area of the Bollinger Band rather than pushing against the edge. It looks like there's a chance we might float into it, which seems to happen similar to like here, where you stop going down against it and then you come into it. I know there was some volatility here directly with the move up and down, but that's not necessarily what I'm referring to. What I'm referring more to is just that instead of pushing down against the band, price has a chance to go sideways. And yes, sideways could be within a range of levels. And so we'll talk about that. But that's kind of where we are on the weekly. And just the sense that if we could close above this level is a 31.3 roughly. If the price candle can close above there or around there, even above this level here, above the 30.5 level, closing around there, above there, especially if it's higher, around 31.3, that would lead to a nice bullish candle engulfing body of the previous candle. And if you could engulf the previous two or close around there, that would be relatively solid. And yeah, I mean, I don't think on a weekly chart, I don't think, again, that we're necessarily going to make a V right here. There's too much of a resistance energy here now. So it just doesn't seem reasonable. And it also looks like momentum-wise, it still needs more time. So we'll see what can happen. But the best case scenario is some sort of choppiness and sideways. If it's not going to go straight back to the moon, the best case is that it can consolidate and flatten and find its new low bottom before eventually getting momentum to turn higher. However, there is still obviously the opportunity for that price to then break down at some point and go towards the lower lows, 200-week moving average and that kind of stuff. And that's what a lot of people are expecting at some point. And the thing is that time-wise, the price could just go sideways for enough time, and then finally break down. It could also go sideways for enough time that it regains some potential positive momentum. However, the main thing in this case here on the weekly is this Ichimoku cloud. It'll be really interesting to see where the price is in relation to this whole cloud. We get a bit of narrowing down to here in beginning of 2023. Yeah, that's beginning of 2023. So, we'll see, but that would mean the price is playing down here instead. Maybe it pierces up into the cloud or whatever, but I'm just curious to see what is this time potential going to lead to? Is it just going to be a small move up and then move down? Is there going to be something else significant? Let's see what happens. It'll be interesting for sure to find out. But I don't think, I get the sense that it needs weeks of consolidation, and it might not even be done with lows yet. There might be lower lows. However, okay, on the daily time frame, let's move into the daily time frame. Considering that 31.3 level leads to a decently bullish engulfing type of candle on the weekly, nothing huge and major, but if you could get here, you're in a good position. So what does that mean? Well, what we see on the daily price chart is not terrible yet. The only concern is the potential closing and getting rejected by this 20-day moving average, but price could still hang around here, especially you have this downtrending support, which was previous resistance. And we'll look at it more closely on the 4-hour. You push to the top of the Bollinger Band, you get rejected decently, and now you're at that 20. So does the price need to come back down here first? Well, if we look lower time frames, it shows that if the price starts coming down towards here, then I think we're done, you know, momentum wise, time wise. There's still the potential for one more hit to the upside, you know, which could bring some more local higher highs here, potentially to like 34, 35,000 level, which we've talked about in the previous video. And speaking of which, you know, we were around this area at that time. Price comes down and then pops higher, lower end of the Bollinger Band to top end of the Bollinger Band, and they're still narrowing Bollinger Bands, so there will be volatility coming. Question is it upside or downside? And it looks good for some continued upside volatility. And yeah, like I'm saying, it would just be another push, and then you'd get your negative momentum to clear out that move and see what happens next. So that seems reasonable. And then the next thing is this 4-hour chart, and I would like to look a little more closely. So when we were on the daily moving down here, these candles here, you're wondering, okay, is this triangle breaking down? You know, we had identified a bit of a triangular price action, and that's over here. Okay, so the question becomes on a lower time frame, like, all right, it's clearly giving some sort of resistance here, support here. Are we breaking down? We're breaking into this zone here in this downtrending. It's making a new local trend, and it's a downtrend. So we pop in a trend line here, and it's nice because then we could see as it pops over the trend line to the upside. Okay, we're also working with that 20 period moving average, and we go to the top of the Bollinger Band, come back down and again support, and it starts like immediately starts moving higher off of this, off of the breakout of this downtrending local trend line. So that was important because it was clear that some sort of volatility would be coming, and just not sure, we're never sure if it's up or down. However, there can be signals and indications that give a probability of one direction over the other. And in this case, that was a nice way of looking for that move up, definitely, for sure. And you got it. You got that move up all the way to the 200 period average and rejected by that cleanly. A nice topping formation here, and then immediate dump back down. But look how well it respected, the price action respected this downtrending previous resistance turned to now support. And also it was nice that it confluenced with the Ichimoku cloud. You did get some deviations here on the 4-hourly basis. And with that, you know, you get now the price at the Ichimoku cloud. So this is the potential for some support. Okay, we've already got it from the trend line. Now we're potentially getting support at this Ichimoku cloud. We got it all the way along here, but now this is important because you're at this green Ichimoku cloud. If you can stay above, and then you really have potential to go higher. So that's the other thing. This gives us a good timing for invalidation, because, you know, as soon as the price starts either breaking down into this thing, okay, back into the triangle, or you start slowly bleeding out of this, you know, once you're under the Ichimoku cloud like that, it's fair enough to say that it's not as strong as before. And there's a good likelihood it's going to continue breaking further down. So anyway, I'm going to get rid of this trend line. It served the purpose. I kept it there to talk about it. We'll keep this trend line here because it's still getting involvement, same into the Ichimoku cloud. Currently, potential rejection at the 20 period moving average, but there's still a bit of time. You have maybe 6 more candles or something like that before you finish the week, right? We're also thinking about this price action in relation to the week, in relation to the 30,500 level closing, or to 31.3, whoops, where's that, 31.3 thousand, which, yeah, I was gonna say is like, imagine closing the week at or around this 200 period moving average, maybe underneath it, okay? So that it's still not clear. Is it going to be another rejection, or is it going to be the potential for breaking through either on the next day, or maybe, well, this is a 4-hourly, so, you know, maybe first the price action comes down, Ichimoku cloud again. But at that point, you know, you're right there. I don't think it's going to give too much Although, yeah, again, you start seeing it get rejected at this line and maybe you're concerned and you get out of your trade and then it can go higher. The market is always playing around with its participants. So anyway, I guess the bottom line is we got 20 period moving average here. It's either going to reject or we'll get above it. And that'll also, be involved with getting out of this Ichimoku cloud. And that's a good sign for going higher and being stronger later on as well into the week. But not it could be only a few days. The price action could, if it does that, maybe it's going to make it up to 35. Ichimoku cloud. You're lucky if you're getting up to 37 or 38. I mean, I think that would be very much stronger than expected. But of course it's possible, and then you break down and you come back down, bleed out again more. And this is how you take time over the daily chart. That's how you take time. That would lead to time being taken in the weekly chart to eventually being able to find a new upward trend that's of a bigger degree significance than what the current correction that we're in. So we go back to the daily, and I just want to recognize getting some support here. Bollinger Bands are narrowing. On the daily time frame, watch the 20-day moving average, watch the price in relation to that. But I think we'll get more of an idea on the 4-hour time chart, because that'll signal us what might be happening for us at that daily levels. 4 hours is going to tell us soon enough. And it's either going to break down below this Ichimoku cloud and it's done, or we're above the 20 period average, and then there's a decent likelihood here that we're going higher and challenging some new local highs here, that haven't been seen since back here in May. All right, and I think this level here, right here, is a good level. I think it's on the daily. It is. It's right here. It's really the 50% line, but anyway, between like the mid-level and the lower range. But okay, hold on. And it confluences nicely with let's put that on there. It confluences nicely with the price action decently, okay? And we get into here, and it's like it was previous support here and previous price action through here. So it's more of a zone, but I think there is potential for the price to come up to this level. However, having said that, we have to recognize the price can break down, and maybe it kind of gives another little push higher and then comes back down. But on the 4-hourly, I think MACD wise, there is definitely the potential for the price to make a bullish MACD cross, okay? And then, in that case, makes a bullish MACD cross, histogram goes positive, but maybe it makes bearish divergence. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it starts giving you bearish divergence where then the price goes higher, but the MACD stays lower, the histogram, and you're getting that bearish divergence. That's kind of the scenario I'm anticipating if you're going higher. That's the anticipated scenario if you're going higher. And that's about it. So I think I'm done with this video. That's all I really wanted to say and more. I hope this serves you well, some things to think about and ways for you to be successful for yourself when you're looking at your price charts, the Bitcoins and all the rest of them. Right now, Bitcoin is the one to look at, in my opinion. Altcoins are good to look at on long time frames just to get a sense of when you're getting accumulation. Right now, Bitcoin is the one to keep a close watch. And then, yeah, in terms of price charts and importance on the market. All right. I think that's it. I'm done. Wishing you very well. Okay. Until next time, all love, peace, and happiness. Goodbye.